When I finish a set, and everybody walks into the set and they say, oh, it's great, it's beautiful, of course that's nice. I don't really care about that.
I certainly have gone ahead on this with some trepidation because it's a huge thing.
All I care about is that the drama that the actors and the director are trying to assemble in front of the lens, that is cradled in an environment that's perfect for what they're doing, for who their characters are, and for the story that's trying to be told. Everything beyond that, I'm just simply not interested.
I'm lucky enough to have gotten David Brisman, who's an excellent production designer. The whole idea is to experience the full kind of range of emotional texture.
On one hand, we had a certain advantage, and that is that a look had already been established. So what we wanted to do with Bella was just to show something that indicated a little bit more maturity on her part, because she was moving from grade 11 to grade 12.
Chris is a different director. He was looking for a different palette world and a slightly different mood world. So Bella's nest that we were trying to achieve here had a little bit more warmth to it that existed as the location in Portland. So here we had to build the interior and the exterior. But there's this enormous sequence that involves Jacob sort of parkouring into her window, and it's one of the most important scenes between them in the movie. In the first house, if you look very, very carefully, there's a flicker of a moment when you can see actually that side of the house and there's no bay window there. So it was worth it to deviate from the old diagram to find the diagram that supported this little bit of storytelling. The Cullens house was even trickier than Bella's. In the Cullen house, it was more like adding to an existing puzzle. In the first film, you actually do see the exterior fairly clearly. What we tried to do was bring that very specific palette of the exterior into the interior, and that was a way of knitting those pieces together.
Primarily, Edward was dressed in a two-piece suit with a dark blue linen shirt. It took a lot of time to come up with the formula for creating that suit. I tried to find a fabric that wasn't contemporary, something that was interesting to look at because he was going to be wearing it all the time. We then followed a very contemporary cut for the suit, so we had his suits made for him. I just think it looks great.
With Jacob's house, we found this fantastic location. Chris knew when he saw it that was the place he wanted to be Jacob's world. The fellow who owned the house built it when he was 17 as his sort of ideal cabin. Everything seemed perfect, but it was a greenhouse. It was really, really beautiful as a greenhouse. So I struggled with that, but there's a desire in the fan base to really keep the red of Jacob's house. So we photoshopped and looked at how it was in red, and it was still pretty wonderful. So we ended up painting the whole place red to match the book.
When we were dressing the werewolves, what we wanted to do was to find something that made them look sexy. We knew that we had to put them in cutoffs, but it wasn't going to be short shorts. Again, with him, we also wanted to show him moving from being a boy into a young man. So we shortened all of his shirts. We took in his tees to reflect the fact that he had these new great biceps.
You try to maintain a coherence so that nothing seems unrealistic or bizarre, and when we